Hello and welcome to Talk Down the Local, the show that goes from pub to pub across the country, speaking to the punters about the subjects driving us all nuts at the moment. Tonight, we're at the Wrestlers Inn in Highgate. I'm Phil Dave. Here's what's coming up.
Is this undisturbing it?
So go away, Drew. I'm really sorry, I'm making you self-conscious.
You are, yeah. And I've also now realised how often I've said like, even in this conversation with you.
I know what brain rot is. I think it's even worse.
I think I've got that.
Yeah. It comes with age.
I'm wound up by people putting microphones in my face in the pub.
No. Come on, that's not fair. Right, first thing up this evening, we have to meet our splendid panel who join us at this mighty fine establishment. Delighted to say that Conservative Councillor Matthew Goodwin-Freeman is here. We also have political commentator Fariza Balgymbayeva, and we also have the rather splendid talk presenter that is Mr. Gould.
Good evening.
Welcome to one and all. What a treat to have you here. This is a rather splendid pub, isn't it? I'm loving it. First things first this evening, we have to establish what everyone's drinking. I've gone for a good old Kronenbourg 1664. Matthew, what are you drinking?
London Pride.
You're going for London Pride. Very good. Fariza?
I have an Inches apple cider.
Inches.
Really
Finished
nice.
it already.
And you're looking very resplendent with a...
Star Ramen.
Oh, I
That's
see.
right,
You've got a
Star
tanker
Ramen,
there.
available in all good outlets.
First up this evening, okay, want to have a little chat with you about a plague that seems to be taking over London. I'm really sorry if you're listening outside or you're watching outside of London. I know this is not interesting.
They don't really matter if you live outside
It's coming
London.
to a city near you before long, mark my words. And that is
About 20 years.
And that is fare dodging, okay? I'm so sick every single day of commuting on our public transport system, and I see people who barge past barriers, who jump on and off of buses, and they just don't pay. They're absolute shysters. They're revolting. What and could and should be done about fare dodgers, Matthew Goodwin-Freeman?
I mean, the problem with fare dodging is it is easy to solve. You have guards there, someone does it, you're pulled over, you're arrested, that's the end of it. You know, it's ridiculous. I find it so frustrating. It's costing us billions and billions of pounds. It's costing us, the taxpayers. We're having to fund it. Fares are going up and up to pay these people. And you just see it. The station staff don't do anything. They just stand there and watch them go through. And also, they say report it to British Transport Police. Well, a bunch of no ones, because every time that I report something or I say, look, I've got the evidence, I watched the guy push through the barriers, they don't even get back in touch.
I've tried texting Transport Police before, and it doesn't seem to do anything. It's I get like a
What,
sort of an
see it
automated...
sorted and nothing
Yeah, but I get an
happens?
automated
never
response.
gets sorted.
Yeah, but what they want to
See
do...
it, say it, ignore it.
They want to put in turnstiles like at football.
I think they should, because actually, if they do the turnstiles, like the New York subway, they're actually quite effective.
Well, apart from if someone goes in and opens the but you don't have an emergency door. You just have it so it can't...
No, we just trap a load of people
But
if there's an emergency.
Have strong sentences, like if you do it, 6 months in prison. I mean, it's theft, isn't it?
Well, there was that guy who got away with £48,000 of fare dodging the other week.
They're doing it once
And
as
what
well,
did he
is it?
get? He got a slap on the wrist. I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. Lock him
See
up.
someone doing it, they're not doing it that once. They've done it hundreds of times.
They know what they're doing.
But I think we need to focus on like the actual problem here. That is the prices of the economy. People can no longer
Then
afford.
stay at home or walk.
how?
Or get on your bicycle.
People need to work. I mean, on average, people spend around like 40 to 75 pounds a week just to get to work.
But Fariza, I get that completely, but the problem is that unfortunately, these idiots who are dodging the fares, TfL and other...
Costing it.
They keep saying that they're putting the fares up because of the fare dodgers.
100%, because last year that cost them like 190 million in revenue lost just because of fare dodging. But it's because of that then they have to increase the price, and then because of that they have more fare dodgers.
So it's the fare dodgers causing the rise.
But the solution is simple. We've seen it. Rob Jenrick did one video about fare dodging, and suddenly Sadiq Khan, the glorious mayor of London, could find extra money to do extra patrols, get extra officers out there. I'm sorry, but the answer is simple. It's the political will. Sadiq Khan cannot give a toss.
No, he doesn't. In fact, he wants them to do it. He hates.
Because then he's got someone to blame. You could say it's always someone else. It's always someone else's fault.
I am sure that if Sadiq Khan was here, he would argue otherwise. But even
Well,
so,
sure he would.
The point being is that I don't understand why we live in a society where other people don't look on. I actually have stopped people before who fare dodge, right? I literally have stopped
A
them.
group
So
of
if
5
I
lads, though, are you going to seize a group of 5
I
lads?
don't know if it was 5 lads, but I've certainly confronted 2 lads, who are relatively
And
much
what
younger
happened?
and
You
fitter
got
than me.
beaten up and hospitalised for a month.
No, I mean, look, my nose is just about repaired. But the point being is that I actually did turn to them when they tried to go through the barrier when I went through. I said, no, excuse me.
Pay for your
I
own
paid
ticket.
for this.
Yeah.
You're not getting off the back of my
What
ride.
happened?
Thank
Did
you
they
very
wait
much."
for you to go and then just did it?
Well, they probably did anyway. But one of them actually tried to come up with it, tried to follow me afterwards. He got out of the station eventually and tried to follow and threaten me. I just ignored him and carried on walking. But the point is, why the hell should I have to go through this? I'm doing the right thing. They're not.
Well, a lot of people say they see them doing it, they think, well, why am I going to pay them?
Yeah.
If they're saying it's free
that's
because the
the
staff
problem.
don't do
Definitely,
it.
we have to increase the police staff in underground stations and overground station, and also we just have to increase, like, maybe even like film them and then, like, I don't know, upload it to
Facial
social
recognition.
media to shame
Yes,
them.
absolutely. Facial recognition. Put their
Facial
photos
recognition.
up in stations and say, this
100%.
idiot doesn't pay their fares and your fares are going up because of them. Shame them, absolutely.
Come
not
down
fair.
hard on them. Stop decriminalising it, right? We're all paying for this service, and the people who are not are making it harder for the rest of us. Fares are going up, taxes are going up, all of it to subsidise those who can't be bothered. I'm really sorry, but we need to stop being so soft and start actually punishing these people. I've seen it as well before. I come out the station, I can see someone's getting right behind me, ready to come out at the same time, and I just stand there and turn around and go, sorry, you pay for your own ticket. They don't. They just push through and couldn't care.
So one of the reasons why I always carry a long-handled umbrella is that I actually...
Chatting with it.
No, seriously. I carry a long-handled umbrella because I genuinely, as I go through the barriers, I hold it outwards, right? So it's going behind me.
You open
and
it,
I
like,
literally push
you
back.
open it
I
and
don't
turn
open the
it.
umbrella, but believe me, if they walk too near, it would be very uncomfortable for them, especially the men. And you know what I'm saying. I'll see what they slot think. Have you ever witnessed fare dodging? When you did witness it, what happened?
I've seen it a few times. It's annoying, but you can't really get involved because you just don't know how those people will react nowadays.
Yeah, I'm assuming often that people just genuinely don't have the money. They're often kids or people who look a bit down on their luck. Actually, I have seen occasionally people do the sort of tailgating through the tube barriers, and that does irritate me, I have to say.
Especially if you've paid. You're paying like anyone else, but yet they just feel like they can ride it for free.
But we can't stop paying just because other people don't. If we all decide to stop paying just because we see others do it, then it'll all fall over.
Here's the sensible fill out of the two of us.
They should be locked up, basically.
How would we go about processing? Because we always hear like how with courts, how they're all full up now, don't we? So are we going to be able to spend a lot of time trying to process people who dodge fares? I agree with you, by the way.
They might, well, what are you going to do? Let them get away with it? Yeah.
Well, I agree, but they let them, don't they?
Yeah.
It's not fair.
No, but I mean, just doesn't mean because it's expensive or there's too many of them doing it, you shouldn't do something about it.
I'm wound up by people putting microphones in my face in the pub.
No. Come on, that's not fair. That will make the edit, don't worry. Nepotism is the next subject on everyone's lips. Well, it's a subject on my lips anyway. And it is because, I'm sorry to say this, but Cruz Beckham, what is that? Who is he? He's got some sort of single out at the moment or something like
Is
that.
he?
Yeah.
And with the
I'd
grace
be
of-
interested in hearing
with,
that.
I wouldn't.
I'm not convinced you would be. With the grace, I have to say, it's not as bad as you'd be forgiven for thinking
What
it
is it? Give us a little sing then. Tell us
Oh,
how
well, no,
it
I
goes.
genuinely don't know what it is. Fariza, you might be able to help with this, but I
I
can't.
look at it on here.
You don't need a view out loud. We can't play music on YouTube, so we can't do that.
Trying to be indie.
Will you
and
sing
it's-
us a bit? How
No,
does
I
it
don't-
go? Come
I
on.
don't really know. I
I'll
haven't
do
listened
the-
to it that much.
Look, the point being is that, let's be honest, I don't think he would have got that chance if it weren't for who his parents are. So
Well, you
it
don't
kind
know.
of got me thinking about nepotism, and it's
Yeah, but
clearly
his mum
quite
was
right.
an amazing singer, wasn't she?
Well, she hit it very well.
So full of talent.
No, look, don't get me wrong. I think anyone who tries to knock the success of the Spice Girls is probably just a little bit jealous. But don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say for a second that Victoria Beckham is one of the finest singers ever put on this earth, because clearly she's not. She's definitely not. But the point I'm trying to get at is that, everyone sort of occasionally once in a while says, oh, it's so terrible, nepotism, it's horrible, like sort of people getting all these top jobs. But yet there are loads of people who get it. Loads of people benefit from nepotism.
King Charles, of course, was one.
He wouldn't have got that job if it weren't for who his other was. But I want to know where the line is, because actually, let's be honest, we'd all help our family. I help my family. Why wouldn't I? Of course I'm going to. But where does nepotism end and doing a favour begin?
Well, it's all the same, isn't it? It's doing a favour for your family, isn't it? And it's frowned upon. I mean, I'm in radio because of my brother. Because originally I was going to go into the music business. And he said, come and help me out doing some engineering at this IRN or LB's. So that's how I got in. So, yeah, I suppose
But I want to. The difference is, I want to bring back the Gould brothers show. That's what I want.
Yeah, well, we had it a few months ago. We did.
It was
good. You know, yeah, it wasn't really. He just introduced me to someone, and
I know you had it because I was on it. I was honoured. It was great.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. Yeah, but
who says we control the media?
It is a bit sickening. I mean, it happened in Hollywood, didn't it, with all the Brat Pack and all that?
Yeah.
I mean, I personally don't think nepotism is as bad as people make it out to be.
No, but that's the weird thing is I'm not so sure I do either. Because I don't think someone would get the opportunity they get if it weren't for nepotism. But I'm not so sure I think it's a bad thing either.
It's not a bad thing, I think. If you have an advantage to use it, why it would be silly to let that go? I mean, when it gets really bad is when you start disadvantaging others.
Well, that's
and when you're actually incompetent for the job and you only got it.
Yeah, but you are disadvantaging someone just by getting the job in the first place.
No, I think there's a line. I think the difference is if you're getting the job based solely on the person who gave you the recommendation, then that's not fair. But if you're getting the opportunity and then goes through the same process, that's where it's fair. I believe in the hard work, right? Frankly, personal responsibility. You get up, you make something yourself. No one's there to hold your hand. But if you can get some help on the way and someone say, actually, I know someone, why don't you have a conversation with them? It's still the onus is on you to impress, to show your skill.
And also it can mess you up. I mean, like Julian Lennon, it can ruin your life because people want you to be as good as your dad or your mum, and you're often not.
That's true. That's true. You're forever being compared. Well, for example, if you look at His Majesty, he's forever being compared to the late great Queen, isn't he?
The Queen.
If you think about it.
The Queen.
So, no, I regret she's not anymore.
No,
Camilla is the Queen.
No.
So it's very simple.
Queen consort.
But look, she is the Queen. You can argue that we want, but that is the case.
I'll argue with the Queen.
But the point being that I'm trying to get at is actually there are some examples, because one of the finest examples I can think of actually where nepotism is essential is look at what's happened to the House of Lords. The House of Lords always used to be based on based on hereditary peerage. Yeah. And the way I looked at that was that the hereditary peers were brought up to know exactly what they were doing in this world. They were actually here for a purpose, to protect and to guard this country. And look at all of these people who've got favours now from friends or what have you.
Cronyism now.
It's absolutely shocking. The Lords is an absolute flipping waste of space.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if recently as 20 or 30 years ago, those of us who can remember 20 or 30 years ago, could you imagine 20, 30 years ago, could you imagine anyone ever sort of saying the House of Lords should have been abolished? Of course it shouldn't. They were seen as the guardians of the country.
And I agree. I think sometimes the hereditary ones are actually good because they're not really, they are a bit political, but they're not as politicised, Some of them, they all went through good education. We used to, all our leaders came from, those posh schools, didn't they? And they were good at leading. They were trained to lead. And, people like Churchill, all the old.
Oh, like Fariza spicing it up here. Wind her up.
I disagree, because also with nepotism comes a lot of spoiled brats.
That's for sure.
Yeah, you get a lot of spoiled people who are completely incompetent in life.
Beckham,
they don't care about.
What's his name? River, but no, what's the old Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they just go where the money is. They don't actually care about putting the hard work. They don't care about actually having any talent or any sort of idea about life.
Well, they go where the money is, but I go where the punters are. Is there anything wrong with nepotism?
No.
Why not?
As long as you acknowledge it, but not in like a patronising way. But it does exist.
It does exist, but do you think it's fair to maybe say like some who try harder to get into jobs and then maybe they don't get it because they don't have the right connections?
Oh yeah, I guess. But if you're like an actress or an actor or a football player, there are certain roles that you will get doors open for you. But also, if you're a very talented actor and you happen to be the son or daughter of a very talented actor, you shouldn't be held back for that.
I worked for an American bank for a number of years, and if you weren't American, you were second-class citizens.
Oh,
yeah. So it's something similar to that, isn't it? And I just found it really horrible. So nepotism, nah, not really.
If you're talented enough, no. But if you've got the job because of your dad or your mother or someone else, then yes, there is a lot wrong with it.
But what about even if it could be that some people have it in their genetics, don't they? So is there anything wrong with that per se?
Not necessarily, no. They might be able to do the job, but if they can't do it, then, they're not getting it for the right reasons.
Nepotism is, I think, by its essence, an unfair favouring based on biology rather than talent. So as long as they have the talent as well, it doesn't matter who they came from.
It's really hard on when you're looking at individual kind of situations, and it makes it difficult for everyone. But I fundamentally believe in equity and a level playing field, and it's just it de-levels the playing field. So morally, I think it's wrong.
Hey, good old Dave, Phil Dave.
Okay, so here we go. We've got this, I think yours is styrofoam.
Really got a pie on the top.
There's an inches.
Have you got a flake for that?
A London Pride for you.
Yeah, proud.
And I have got a 1664, but apparently they ran out of glasses, so that's what.
Wow. Jeez, dreadful.
There we go. So let's. So let's sort out the empties. Hang on a sec.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'll be in danger. Hang on a sec.
Just wait us tonight.
Oh, that's it. Lovely.
You could work.
Right.
Beautiful. You've got a job.
If this radio malarkey fails me, I'll go into TV.
Well, cheers. Thank you very much.
Okay. Right.
Thank you. Cheers.
So, Phil, what's
Cheers,
next?
everyone.
Good cheers.
Well, Asher,
What's next on the agenda?
I'm pleased you asked that because
L'chaim.
next the L'chaim, absolutely to life. So, because that's nice. Next on the agenda, buzzwords.
Like
Exactly.
in it.
I mean,
you know.
you know what I'm saying.
You know.
I mean, what? Huh?
It's a punctuation point, isn't it?
It's not a punctuation point. It's people not talking properly.
I go, all right, man. How you doing, man? Yeah, man. And it's like it adds a rhythm to it.
But I think the difference is when you sort of say, yeah, how you doing, man? It's like, that's just you. It's a trend. It's a style. But if you've actually got someone who has got it so embedded that they can't actually string a sentence together without saying, I mean,
Well,
like,
that's one
do
that
you know
I've
what I mean?
picked up on. Everyone's saying, you know. So, you know.
But it's the modern disease. And I would actually say one thing. When I sometimes am lucky enough to do some of the training with the on-air side of things, which occasionally I do have to do, one of the things I tell people, the biggest offence and actually the biggest problem in all of this is pace. People don't know they can slow down how much they talk. The problem is people are pouring 1,000 words out a minute, and they're, funny enough, their brain can't keep up. So this is the reason why people say like and I mean and in it, and you know what I mean. Honest to God, the other day,
people go,
I mean, I'm in an orange.
Just stay silent.
Yeah, just shut up.
Be quiet.
If you can't go, you have to go.
Sorry, I think that like the main problem is here is also like we just
I'm going to keep the tally. Yeah, no.
I feel that the main problem that we have here is that people no longer read at all, and we have like so much, you know,
They can't read.
No, we can read, but people just choose not to. They choose like to spend their time watching brain rot TV, or they're watching social media, just doom scrolling.
Do we need to explain to these two what brain rot means? That's
I think it's even worse, though. I know what brain rot is. I think it's even worse.
I think I've got that.
Yeah. It comes with age. But it's even worse, though. I think the problem is because we live in such a fast-paced world now.
We do.
Look at what happened years ago when people used to correspond between companies. What did they do? They wrote a letter.
Takes time.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that that's the age we should live in now.
It's just an email, isn't it?
They
on
wrote
paper.
but they wrote a letter. They had to stick it in the letterbox. They had to wait for a reply.
Correct.
Everything is so fast-paced now. We order stuff online. We expected the next day. Some people expected the same day.
No, but Dave, originally, you know, the mail used to be you'd get mail 5 times a day. So you'd write a letter to someone in London.
I remember morning and afternoon deliveries.
No, but it was in the 1700s. You're not that old. But they used to have 4.
I dress like I am, but I'm not that.
It was a bit like texting. It was about 30 quid a letter, but you'd send it. It would get there a couple of hours later, the messenger, and you'd get a reply the same day, and it would go like that.
But it's still slower pace. Come
Now
on.
it is.
The problem is
Lazy postman.
our society.
I mean, it's
Our society nowadays is at the point where you want something instantly, takeaway, whether it's Deliveroo, whether it's whatever, whether it's ordering stuff online, Amazon, or
right in the
choosing
brain.
the film you want.
Exactly.
You have a demand for something immediately. So when it comes to speech, you're
Dopamine
correct.
hits as well. It's dopamine hits.
And social media. Look at the constant scrolling,
That's
the
why
constant
people,
scrolling.
You won't remember this, but in the old days, there was a lot of time when you'd just be bored. Like Sundays, you just couldn't do anything. Now you're
After mowing
you're
your
never
lawn.
bored now, and actually That affects
There's
your...
always
That's
something
actually,
to stimulate
that's
you.
actually quite dangerous because it affects people's attention span.
Because no one enjoys anything anymore. No one bothers going on or going out because they're all enjoying themselves.
I tell you
getting
something for
dopamine.
nothing. You know, during the whole COVID pandemic malarkey,
Oh,
when
that
everyone
again.
was forced to do very little, when I used to go on a daily walk, I tell you for
Your
nothing.
regulated 20-minute walk.
Yeah, well, I was allowed out of the house for an hour, wasn't I? But let's put all that nonsense to one side. I actually used to
The
stop.
judge has taken those restrictions off.
I used to stop and admire the world around me because it forced me to slow down. And actually, it was quite nice.
Correct. And the world we live in now, where you are social media scrolling, you need that constant hit of dopamine. That has led to speech, people trying to be these short, snappy sound bites.
Well, it's
that
affected
grab
their brains. I
attention.
mean, they can literally see from kids born in '97 and they were like the Facebook. They've seen the change in the frontal lobe because going out as a kid and playing outside actually changes your whole brain development. And they've done brain scans and seen that kids' brains are differently wired. Literally, it's physically changed the brain.
Sadly, they've discovered that my head is just something I keep my hat on, which is really annoying.
Also feel like
Your hair's got a
at
bit
this
long,
day and age, like a lot of Gen Zs are really afraid of coming across as too stern or too, assertive, and they want to. No, it's true. You see a lot of mad. You see podcasters, you see influencers on social media. 1 minute video is now too long for people to even comprehend.
Correct. Yeah.
It's so long. So get to the point. You see the books, like Colin Hoover books, or then you see, and then you compare it to the classicals, and it's just, what are you even on about? The plot is right in the first paragraph.
The world has moved to short form.
You speak about what you're even on about. I was in the lift at work the other day. Now, we've all worked in the same building, but I was in the lift at work the other day. I kid you not, 2 of our colleagues, I don't know whereabouts in the building they were from, but all I know is that one of them said to the other, oh my God, the other day I was literally, I could not believe even what happened. It was like this. I literally honestly, so unbelievable. Got out of the lift. And I said to the colleague, I was, well, what the did they just say? Genuinely,
I don't know what just happened there.
I didn't know what they
conversation?
said. Genuinely. Anyway, I'm going to find out what this lot think. Do you use any buzzwords? How do you feel about
The
them?
Queen's English, or King's English as it is now, is pretty clear. Why actually change it? I mean, buzzwords are just buzzwords. I mean, they're nothing words.
No, I kind of pride myself on kind of. That's not good, is it? On clear diction, using Queen's English wherever possible.
There we go. I definitely like a lot. Why? It's because it fills it fills a gap. Whilst my brain is so quick that my mouth can't keep up, so I have to say to pause it. I think.
Do you think that's force of habit though, or do you actually sort of believe that you should slow down a bit and pace yourself, or do you just enjoy it? It doesn't matter. What does it matter? Well, who cares?
I should slow down, but
Why? You're you.
I know, but I've never actually thought about it too much. You're making me really think about it.
I'm really sorry. I'm making you self-conscious.
You are, yeah. And I've also now realised how often I've said even in this conversation with you.
Uh-oh. I'm really sorry about that.
No, it's okay. But I'll go home and think about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
When before, when I mentioned about Cruz Beckham, it got me thinking about celebrity culture.
Oh, God.
Because I really freaking hate celebrity culture. Am I the only one? It's just
Depends on if you ever get to meet your
just
celebrity. That's the
They're
thing.
not really celebrity. It's not like the old days where you had, Cary Grant, Marilyn Monroe. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine? I would have loved to have met Marilyn Monroe. How amazing would that have been?
Who was the equivalent now? I mean, the last big star.
Kim Kardashian.
Tom Cruise is probably the last movie star, and there are Brad Pitt maybe. And
Anyone's
clean
famous
name.
nowadays.
Yeah, it's
make
mainly the
anyone.
sports stars, but still, then it's only Ronaldo and Messi. I mean, I suppose it goes in phases. You got the 40s, 50s, you got the film stars. 60s, it was the pop stars, and the 70s and 80s movie maybe, and then now the sports stars since the 90s.
Yeah.
I just hate glossy magazines, though. When I see
Who
when I
reads
go
them? What's the
into, I
quality of
don't
it,
know.
right?
I don't need. You can't
No, but
read
this-
them. There's nothing to read.
But that's
the
almost the
point.
thing. Celebrity culture now is just drama. It's drama and gossip. There is no need to read. No one reads the magazine
Well,
anymore. No one reads
Kardashian wasn't
the
even
stuff.
she was a celebrity for no
She was
reason.
just- she's 90%
Paris-
plastic. That's
Paris
the point with
Hilton.
her. It's,
They never did anything like a song or they weren't artists. They become famous for the sake of it.
Through fashion and stuff, but I think people love celebrity culture because it's a form of escapism.
Yes.
People like to not think about the news or how dark the world can be, and they want to think about
What's their life
The dream life.
Who, you know, what's
Why do they want to know escapism? It's escapism as well. It's a dream life of imagine having so much money. Imagine having enough money where you can argue with your son about whether you danced with your mum at your wedding and then had a massive label afterwards. Sorry, but that's the whole point of it. It's escaping to a world where actually maybe a bit of jealousy, human nature.
It's so mind-numbing.
It goes, it happens in their family as well as ours.
You know,
there's always a fight at a wedding, isn't there?
That's what it's there.
It makes people feel normal. It makes you relate to them. It makes you think, you know what? If she got to this place, I can do the same thing. This is what's going to drive people. This is motivating for a lot of people.
But what about the negative effect it has on people when they sort of start having plastic surgery, or they start thinking, oh my God, my life isn't as good as that. I'm such a failure because I haven't got as much money as these. I really worry about that.
No,
it's terrible. It's not
Yeah,
reality.
and you have the plastic surgery and then you feel a bit better, don't you?
Well, I don't.
It's a good point. The problem is, in social media world, we now live in a day and age where you only see the good side of things. You only see the positive. You only see the bit that's been edited and filtered a million times to give you the something that they want. We don't see the world anymore where it's actually real. And that's where celebrity culture
That's why we like the
is
Beckham.
drama,
What a detrimental
because
effect
we're
that
seeing
has
the
on people.
But we're seeing the real stuff. We're seeing celebrities falling out, struggling,
Well, it
having
used to be,
difficulties.
celebrities became the normal people, and then reality stars, the normal people, became the celebrities, and there was this sort of mix up, wasn't there? And now we're just in this crazy
But I
media
think
world.
what I hate the most about celebrity culture is how it affects young people, especially young girls. Like you see, you know, people like Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, the way they look changes. It's her sister.
Yes, but at least it's good they've got the full buttocks, and it's good for girls. They won't
but
get
now
anorexia, will they?
She removed them because she has all the money to do it. And
She's had her buttocks removed.
Yeah, but it's impossible to live up to all these
I
beauty
wish you were the
standards.
school therapist when I was a kid. Honestly, counselling with Ash would be
It's good
great.
for women to get fuller figures. Hasn't that helped girls? You know.
No, now everyone's on, you know, Ozempic, everyone's on fat chops.
That's the
and it's
problem. Exactly, that's the problem.
Kilimanjaro.
Girls Kilimanjaro. Girls get a false sense
Turn
of
a
what
mountain into a
perfect is
molehill.
supposed to be. That's the issue. Whereas actually, they just need to realise that actually people care about your personality more than they do about the size of certain things. But hey, maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No, but also for young boys as well. You see all these rappers getting famous, and all they do is rap about crime. And then we live in a world.
Rapping isn't music, so I don't even consider that.
All right, so let's talk about the effect on young boys, shall we? What about the rise in narcissistic behaviour? Let's talk about that. Okay, and you can't tell me that's not through following certain celebrity cultures.
This is the problem because we make anyone famous. You get a person who just got famous overnight, and now all of a sudden they stay famous, and then actually this person has no morals. He doesn't know how the world works.
Celebrities used to get there because they had done something, whereas nowadays anyone from one video could suddenly become viral. They could become famous. Anybody.
The big stars are very chilled out and don't care, and the little ones are all like, hey, you know, they have a go at people and act all cracked up. And
So I have to tell you really quickly before I'm going to go, because I'm itching to find out what the punters think about this, but really quickly, there was a time when I was working at another station. I know it's unthinkable, but I was a runner in those days, and I had been told that we had a guest
Babe
coming
station,
in.
wasn't it?
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was. There was a former contestant from the X Factor who was coming in, and his people, obviously said his, but his people phoned up ahead and said, could we have a chilled Diet Coke on standby, please, for this person? And I replied and I said, well, we've got tea or coffee or water. And I said, there's also a vending machine, which is quite, relatively refrigerated. But the truth is that I'm afraid the only option is to use the vending machine like anyone else would have to do. And they were so shocked that I'd say that, because I've never, ever succumbed to this about celebrity culture.
Who was it? Tell us who was it.
I'll tell you off air.
That's where people think they are a celebrity.
Was it Will Young?
But that's what was so strange. You know what? It was not. But that's what was so strange about
it
it.
Subo?
Is actually this individual.
No,
was
she
really
wouldn't have had Diet Coke.
This individual was quite. Stop it!
You're gonna get us sued.
This individual.
Subo.
Shush. This guy. This chap was actually quite nice. It was his people who were an absolute pain in the backside.
They make them like they're such a big deal when they're actually not. Like, be normal, be a human being.
Nowadays, you could easily do that. You can fake it, really.
Exactly.
You fake it till you make it, baby.
Well, I'm not faking it. I'm going to find out what these guys really think.
And I'll have a drink instead.
Nope, I don't follow celebrity culture.
Why not?
Doesn't interest me. I'd rather get on with my own life.
No.
Why?
Well, why should I?
Well, I agree, but why? I think they're all a bunch of bananas, but you tell me.
I think, and of course, they're selling themselves as well. So they're making money out of their title or whatever the hell. So I'm against it.
The only famous people I follow on Instagram are Arsenal football players, and then friends. But you know, I was saying to Laura earlier, they're kind of like friends to me.
Is that because you feel bad for them?
At the moment, I do feel bad for them. But you know, sometimes when they do well, I'll like give them a little like on their post or maybe like a thumbs up. But yeah, that's the only famous people I follow on Instagram.
Is this undisturbing it?
So go away.
I can't stand that reality TV crap that there is. That's the worst thing in the world I could ever imagine is reality TV. Getting involved in that as well. It's just cringeworthy. And why they get their 5 minutes of fame is just beyond me. It's just, you know.
Unbelievable. I'm afraid that's all we got time for this edition of
What do you
Down
mean?
the
We
Low.
only just got started.
Goes quickly,
You don't
doesn't it?
realise, for the people on the other side of the screen, this has been a whole hour worth.
I know, they've suffered enough. I think we've got to let them get on with their lives, I'm afraid. But we do have to say a huge thanks to the wonderful staff at the Wrestlers Inn in Highgate. They've been marvellous to us. Thank you very much to Matthew Goodwin-Freeman, to Fariza, Balgymbayeva, and also to Asher Gould as well. And of course, to you at home for watching as well. Until next time from me, Phil Dave, please remember, drink responsibly and cheers!